Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 2 of this 1995 Honda CR125 rebuild. So in the last episode we disassembled the bike to the bare frame, welded up the frame and fixed some of the threads. So let's not waste any time and continue working on this bike. So we're gonna start today by sanding and preparing everything for painting. Basically, the first thing that we have to do is we're gonna use some teardown. So it's Lithuanian for I don't know what, but basically this is a degreaser, a good degreaser. But we'll start not from the frame, but from the subframe. And yeah, we'll see how fast it goes. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a pretty time-consuming process, but anyway, we have a lot of time on our hands and a lot of work. So yeah, let's do it. So basically what all the painters are saying is that the more time you consume preparing the part that you're supposed to be painting, the better it will turn out. So we will see how it goes. So I just poured like half of my degreaser on the floor. So for sanding, I'm gonna use this DeWalt. I think it's called an eccentric sander, something like that. Basically, we're gonna go from 150 to 180 grit. I think, well, I've asked around, that's the optimal grit, so it doesn't damage the surface of the metal. So if I go lower, yeah, it'll be faster, but I will make the surface uneven. So 180 will be all right. So I have these pads here, and what I also have are these things that will go on the drill. So this is a 150, that's a 150 also, and we have a small 150. So I will also use a wire brush attachment for the drill. I have a small one, I'll show you. So I have both the small one and the wheel. So all of this should hopefully be enough to prep this subframe and frame for painting. So again, let's start, and I'm not gonna bore you with the process. You're gonna see a time lapse, and if I have some comments to say, then I'm gonna stop and we're gonna talk it through. So here is my progress so far. And I would say that I definitely need a lower grit. Because here you can see that the frame was in contact with something, right? And there's rust sitting in there. And this 180 grit, it doesn't get all of that rust out. So I'm thinking about 120 or something I will go through here, and then 150 to everything else. So, but other than that, it's actually going pretty good. So yeah, it's a slow process, but if you want to make it look good, then yeah, you have to invest some time into all of this. And yeah, it's a project, you know. These things, they do take time, so it's all right. I'm not rushing anything. All right, so the subframe is almost ready. I'm gonna finish up some spots. And word of advice, the wire brush does wonders, really. Super good with the wire brush. But there is a but. You can only use the wire brush on iron frames, right? So if you have a newer dirt bike and it's aluminum frame, I wouldn't recommend it as it leaves pretty deep scratches. If it's the iron frame, it's all right, but as soon as it's aluminum, like for example, my swing arm is aluminum, so I can't use a wire brush there or else it will leave deep scratches and it won't look good. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it up and we're gonna start priming it. And I wanna prime the subframe, even though my frame isn't sanded yet. You don't want these things to lay around for long because there's still possibility if your facilities are damp, like, or you get some water, that all of this will start rusting away. So just, yeah, we'll prime it. We'll see how it goes because I'm not used to spraying with a spray gun, but there's a first time for everything. So yeah. So for painting and priming, I decided to build this painting rack, as I am positive it will also be useful in the future. My main goal was for it to be stable and big enough for hanging frames. So here is our beautiful painting rack. Pretty decent actually. So we have hooks up here. We're gonna hang our parts and we will have all of the comfort of painting it. So good job on this one. So I've bought some of these painting plugs from good old China. Let's see, how does this even work? So I hope this plug method actually works and no paint gets in there. Well, if not, it's on me for trusting these plugs. All right, so this is how we're gonna paint. So we have this beautiful chain. And now I have perfect access from both sides, just perfect. It's hanging in optimal height. So we're gonna start priming. Right, so here's our epoxy primer and the hardener. So 1:1 proportion, let's go. So up here I made a stupid mistake of not attaching it by 2 points and the part was constantly spinning. Alright, so the primed result is absolute ass. So up here I had some insane drip, right? Same thing on the bottom. Look at that, absolutely awful. But the good news is I know what I did wrong and I'm gonna fix it ASAP. So I'm gonna sand it down a bit and we're gonna lay a new layer of primer. So this time it's gonna be good. So I have my primer mixed right here. And so what I did, I hanged it by 2 points. That way it won't be spinning around when I'm priming. And I'm gonna give it a test spray and get the perfect setup. And then you're gonna see me paint. Alright, so here's the result of second time priming. Actually much better, much better. So we don't have crazy drip at the bottom, right? There are a few impurities here and there, but it's gonna be good. So now for our main frame, same thing. Gonna prep it, sand it, and then we're gonna prime it. So I've cleaned up the frame as best as I could. So now I'm gonna give it a proper degreasing and we're also gonna clean it with this abrasive cloth. So basically degrease it, clean it with this, then we're gonna hang it up and I'm gonna degrease it again before priming it. So it's below 0 today, so I'm using this heater to heat up the facilities and also I've put the frame right besides the heater so that it absorbs some of that heat. Because the warmer it is, the better the primer will stick to it. So this is how I hang the frame. Pretty good, pretty stable. So I won't have that spinning going around. So I'm gonna, like I said, degrease it again and plug out all of the holes. I mean the threads, the holes that I don't need to paint or prime. Alrighty, so here's the setup. Everything that needs to be plugged is plugged. So, paper inside of here. Masking tape on these races here. So yeah, we should be good. Oh, missed a spot here, so I'm gonna fix that. And yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna give it a first coat, and it's gonna be a light coat, so I don't wanna overdo it so we don't get any drip. And we're gonna start from the bottom and go up. Right, so here's our first coat, but I still did manage to overdo it actually. So we have a little bit of a drip right here. So I'm gonna sand that down, and also on this part here, it's actually, this one's not good. So yeah, we're gonna fix all of that before laying the second layer of primer. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to dry up, then sand it, and then we're gonna do the second layer. All right, so I've sanded down the spots where we had some drip, and also I've hanged the frame upside down now. So now we have more access to these sides here, and you can see that there isn't a lot of primer on there. All right, so the second coat of primer is officially done. And I would say I now have some pretty good results. So it's nice and even, and there is finally no drip. So that's great. So up next is the paint. So I went for a candy blood-like red color. First I had an idea to paint the frame white, but I thought that would be too boring for this build. I felt much more comfortable with the paint gun already by this time, and also learned some time-saving tricks along the way. Same as with the primer, I applied 2 coats of paint. By this point the frame already looked 100 times better than it was initially, and the lacquer wasn't even applied yet. And of course we can't forget about the subframe. Same here, 2 good coats of paint. So this is the lacquer that I used, 2-component anti-chip glossy lacquer. I had to be super careful as lacquers are thin and tend to drip more than paint. So the first coat was an easy one, and the next one was a good full coat to achieve that glossy look. And just look at the insane difference. We went from a beat up rusty frame to a good looking freshly painted frame with restored threads. This was a real challenge to me, but the end results made all of it worth it. So guys, that is the end of episode 2 of this CR125 rebuild. And also, this is the last video of this year. I want to wish a Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. And my wish to you for next year is to be healthy. As long as we have health, we can do everything. So guys, keep yourself healthy and keep your family healthy. That's the most important thing. So if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're a long-time subscriber, if you want to help out the channel even more, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link down below. Okay guys, again, happy holidays and I'll see you next year. Bye!